मेरी फ्रेंड ने जब मुझे बोला ना क्लासमेट ने कि चेक कर स्टेन तो नहीं है, एंड आई वाज जस्ट लाइक मेरी दुनिया खुल गई है, वाओ मैं एक इंसान से इस बारे में बात कर सकती हूँ आउटसाइड ऑफ माय होम.
I could not have this conversation with any other girl my age. The perception that my body was growing was something that I had to hide.
It's 3-4 tablespoons of blood, but there's so much weight that those tablespoons carry. It's too much.
When you grow up, you realize कि भाई बहुत मुश्किल काम है बड़े होना तो.
बड़े होते हुए हम ज़्यादातर अपनी बॉडी के बारे में ना पेरेंट्स से, ना टीचर्स से, ना स्कूल से सीखते हैं. हम मोस्टली अनफॉर्चुनेटली गॉसिप से सीखते हैं. दैट हैपेंस एट द बैक ऑफ द बस, एट द बैक ऑफ द क्लास और एट द बैक पेजेस ऑफ द इंटरनेट. एंड वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट मिसिंग चैप्टर्स इन आवर लाइव्स हैज बिन पीरियड एजुकेशन. स्कूल वाले पीरियड नहीं, मेंस्ट्रुएशन वाले पीरियड्स. ये लैक ऑफ एजुकेशन बहुत कॉमन है बिकॉज ऑफ फियर, शेम एंड स्टिग्मा सराउंडिंग पीरियड्स. Fortunately, some good people are doing some good work to bridge this gap in knowledge and awareness. In fact, Whisper has started this wonderful initiative called Keep Girls in School to teach young girls about periods. And today we have some great women on this panel to share, express, and help normalize this incredibly important conversation. Please help me welcome actor, director, Greatest Smile Award winner, Renuka Shahane.
Hello.
We also have doctor, author, change maker, and a favorite internet teacher, Dr. Taneya Narendra.
Hi.
And finally, we have content creator, digital star, and self-confessed rebel kid, Apurva Makhija.
Hi.
And if you're wondering why is a man hosting this, क्योंकि period education हर gender के लिए होनी चाहिए. So welcome everyone. So happy and excited to have you all over here. How are you?
Thanks for having us.
How are you feeling about this conversation?
Very nice. Period.
I think my job today is to listen. I think there's very, very few men who get involved in the conversation around period education. And I think more men, and I feel like people of all genders should have this understanding. And we're going to start with a game. So this is a round called Mythbusters. I'll be reading out some common understanding of periods. You have these slates next to you.
Okay.
You have to tell me if it's a myth or a fact. Irregular periods indicate poor reproductive health.
I get a lot of irregular periods, so I'm trying to think.
किस एज में?
मतलब मेरा ऐसा हो रहा है.
मैं तो उठाया ही नहीं.
You really like got...
Yeah,
क्या मैं
no,
बोलूं
I mean, I get a lot of irregular periods because I have like PCOD, which means that you may not have problems going, matlab, if you're going to have kids or whatever. So I don't really know what the exact science behind it is, and I try not researching a lot because it gives me a lot of stress. So I'm just like, पता नहीं भाई, अपना ठीक चले बस.
कितने individual experiences होते हैं. The more we have these conversations, the more you're able to normalize them. Your period can affect how you smell and sound. Can periods affect that?
Oh my God. I don't know. मतलब
Very complex physiology, but basically hormones के changes की वजह से sometimes our smell can also change a little bit. Hormonal changes की वजह से हमारी vocal cords का भी tenseness बदल सकती है थोड़ा सा, तो voice change हो जाती है.
it becomes deeper.
It can become higher pitched or it can become lower pitched depending on, you know, different people and different
उस समय
reactions.
dubbing नहीं
I'm gonna
रखनी चाहिए.
I'm gonna start observing my voice. तो गला हमेशा खराब रहता है, तो मैं observe मुझे पता ही नहीं मेरी natural आवाज कैसी sound करती है.
But so many singers actually, once I posted this, a lot of singers on this commented, you know, we have experienced this around our periods, and like I thought I was the only one that was seeing this, but now, you know, it's good to know that there's science behind this. So it's all hormonal locha.
कितनी चीजें होती हैं. मुझे भी अभी इंटरनेट में जाता हूँ, लगता है ये it's you don't know enough about your body. You just don't. We're not
You
taught
start
enough.
feeling seen once you know
Correct.
कि you're not alone.
Correct,
जिस
correct,
तरह के
correct.
हो रहा है.
Yeah.
Half the questions you don't even know कि you can ask, have to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
काफी wholesome feel हो रहा है मुझे अभी.
Okay, this is a big one. Girls can get their periods as early as 8 years old. This is tough knowledge, I feel like. Does anyone want to speak about this?
हमारे ज़माने में इतना कॉमन नहीं था, लेकिन थी कुछ लड़कियां जिनको बहुत जल्दी पीरियड्स आ जाते थे. एंड आई वाज वन ऑफ देम. लाइक आई गॉट माय पीरियड्स व्हेन आई वाज 10.
Oh wow.
So that's no age. Like, I mean, imagine I'm 58 today and I have lived most of my life with periods. Like, वो जो childhood का phase होता है ना, वो physiologically I have enjoyed only for a very little time. उस समय to grasp what is happening within your body, you have not developed that much in terms of brain. I don't know. मतलब मुझे तो I was very lucky that my mom, ये जो diagram है ना, ऐसा ही diagram मेरी माँ ने मुझे ड्रॉ करके दिखाया था यूट्रस का और ये सब, बिकॉज वेरी वेरी ओपन, हमारे घर पे बहुत ओपन कॉन्वर्सेशंस होती थी. आई वाज वेरी लकी. लेकिन मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आया था एट दैट टाइम कि ये क्या है क्या. आई ओनली न्यू कि ये कुछ गंदा नहीं है.
Correct.
या ये कुछ मुझे बुरा हुआ नहीं है. ये सारी चीज़ें आई वाज एटलीस्ट assured of. But since nobody else in my school had periods at that time, at least not in my class, none of my friends had. So I had to wait till they got their first periods to actually share, and which was around 3 years later.
Wow.
Like most girls at that age were getting their periods at around 12 and a half, 13, 14. So for that period of time, it was a very lonely, मतलब ऐसा लगता है कि इस बारे में हम किसी से बात नहीं कर सकते. Luckily, I could speak to my mom. But I think it does have that kind of impact on you psychologically also. कि you are becoming bigger in ways that बाकी किसी को पता ही नहीं है उसके बारे में. ना स्कूल में उसके बारे में बात हो रही है. मतलब आई रिमेंबर वी हैड गॉन टू अ स्कूल ट्रिप और मोस्ट एम्बैरसिंग, एक लड़के ने मेडिकल बॉक्स से उसको बैंडेज चाहिए था और उन्होंने सैनिटरी पैड निकाल के पूछा ये क्या है, इतना बड़ा बैंडेज टाइप. एंड मुझे ही खामखा गिल्ट लग रहा था जैसे कि मैंने कुछ गुनाह किया है.
But it's so good to hear, ma'am, कि आपकी मदर ने आपको इतना
Yes.
she was there to support you, because I
Very
feel like
lucky.
that's not as common an experience as you
Not
would
at
imagine.
all.
Yeah.
I have a rare family, luckily.
So there's a report which has a shocking stat actually. It says that 71% of girls are unaware about the concept of menstruation before they get their first period. In fact, before this conversation, I also asked my wife Daisy on आपको कैसे पहले, what was your first understanding of this? She told me that her mom had, I mean, her stepmother had actually told her that there'll be blood at some point, without giving any further information, saying जब होगा तो मुझे बता देना. There is a stigma around the idea of your first period. So she's like कि during the periods obviously she is not allowed to do certain things. मतलब अंदर खाने खुद लेने नहीं जा सकते आप, किचन में आपको दूर रहना है वगैरह वगैरह. So she said that she would hide her periods from her parents after a point of time, just taking whatever pad she had and then borrowing it from people and then throwing it in the dustbin without her parents coming to know, so that they won't ban her from certain areas. So then, and the parents thought something is wrong with her. They took her to the doctor, and then she had to confide in the doctor कि नहीं मुझे आते हैं periods. मैं बस बताती नहीं हूँ कि मुझे allow नहीं करते spaces access करना. So I was just thinking like it's such a different experience for so many different people. Ma'am, आपने अपनी obviously first period story share भी की है, but I'd love to hear from the both of you. What has your first period story been, and were you aware of what periods were when you first had yours?
You want to go first?
You want to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. I think I am so incredibly blessed with the parents that I got.
Wow.
So I think when I was 9 or 10, my mom like sat me down. Of course, there were no diagrams. She didn't tell me, oh, fallopian tube and the uterus and shedding. There were no scientific terms involved. But of course, she told me that, oh, this is going to be the start of your womanhood. You're growing older. You're going to get your period. Whatever she knew, whatever she thought was right, she conveyed. Also, I think around the same time, मेरे school में भी the conversation happened. Obviously, लड़के नहीं थे उधर, like लड़कों को अलग separate कर दिया, लड़कियों को अलग separate कर दिया. We were taken to a room and taught about periods. So my mom told me how to like put a pad on your underwear and everything. And in fact, when I got my first period, my mom and dad, they celebrated. They were like, oh, this is the beginning of a new chapter and ye wo. So for me, it was thankfully absolutely amazing. I had all the support in the world. And yeah, I very lucky that way.
No, I'm so happy to hear that. We have seen parents being open enough to be able to have this conversation. क्योंकि मुझे तो अपनी puberty के बारे में याद आ रहा है, मुझे तो मतलब किसी ने नहीं बताया था, मुझे कुछ नहीं पता था. You know, one day
But
your
what
body,
did you want to know?
I mean, my own body. What did I want to know? One day your body changes, okay, and then you're just like,
exactly.
what is happening?
पहले ही बता दिया था मेरे भाई ने. एक बार मैंने पैड कहीं पड़े हुए देखा. मैंने कहा ये तो बहुत बढ़िया है, ये तो बारबी का बहुत अच्छा बेड बनेगा, सॉफ्ट सॉफ्ट. इट वाज यू नो दोस पुराने एकदम सॉफ्ट वाले जो फ्लफी पैड्स आते थे. उसने बहुत बढ़िया, बारबी के साइज का भी है और उसके साथ एक प्लास्टिक की रजाई भी आई है. बारबी को उड़ा देंगे, चिपक भी जाती है. आई वेंट टू भैया, भैया ये क्या होता है, मैं बारबी के लिए यूज करने जा रही हूँ. देन माय ब्रदर एक्सप्लेन्ड इट टू मी. ही वाज लाइक देखो पीरियड नाम की एक चीज होती है, तुम्हें भी होगा कुछ दिन में. एंड ब्लड निकलता है और डरना मत, बाकी मम्मी बता देंगी कुछ ऐसे ये यूज़ करना होता है जब पीरियड हो जाता है। तो माई मदर इज़ अ गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट, माई डैड इज़ अ फर्टिलिटी मेल फर्टिलिटी डॉक्टर, तो थोड़ा हमारे यहाँ atmosphere बहुत chill है that way. I knew the basic stuff going in, but like you, I also got my period when I was 10.
Oh.
And I remember कि मैं किसी को नहीं बता पा रही थी. That was what was difficult for me because it can be a very isolating experience even in the best of circumstances,
Yeah.
which I think I had. So yeah.
It's so cool your brother knew about this, was able
Putting
to
the
tell
men
you.
in menstruation.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I didn't notice. Menstruation क्यों नहीं है?
बट ये कॉमन एक्सपीरियंस मैं बार बार सुन रहा हूँ. इवन अपूर्वा स्पोक अबाउट द फैक्ट दैट लड़कों को अलग भेज दिया और सिर्फ लड़कियों को समझा रहे हैं. इनफैक्ट अगेन आई स्पोक टू अ फ्यू पीपल अगेन फ्रॉम माय यंगर टीम एंड दे वर आल्सो सेइंग द सेम थिंग दैट आई थॉट दैट ये हमारे टाइम पर होता था बट अब लुक्स लाइक इट्स कंटिन्यूइंग. आई मीन आई अंडरस्टैंड द पर्सपेक्टिव दैट शायद आप यू आल्सो ट्राइंग टू क्रिएट अ सेफ स्पेस फॉर गर्ल्स एंड हेल्पिंग देम इन अ क्लोज ग्रुप. But I feel like this knowledge should not be hidden, from any other gender, right? Obviously, you don't have the emotional maturity to be able to talk about it, maybe in a serious manner or a smart manner at that point of time. When did the scientific understanding of what's happening with your body come to you all?
Actually, for me, it came, much later. Like, my experience of it was just something that, okay, it's part of my life now. I think that, and by then also conversations we could have with other friends who were going through it. And of course, the fact that it is actually related to reproduction and, that aspect of it, that of course came even after my 10th, I would say, literally, because one doesn't really associate it at that stage with, pregnancy or not being pregnant and therefore it happening,
Even my mom till now thinks that it's bad blood.
Oh.
Like it's impure blood, but that is also the kind of environment that she's grown up in, the kind of things that she's heard. Us as a generation, we go on the internet, we read about, we don't
Correct.
believe what we're taught. We do our own research. But your parents are so conditioned शुरू से ही उन्हें यही सिखाया जाता है कि ये गलत है. By the time they are in their 35, 40s, their brain is set in those ways. It's very difficult for them to unlearn. And I read this quote कि your parents are also, your mom is also like a first time mom or something, ki they are also just trying their first time being a parent. So they are trying their best. Thankfully, I had amazing education. I was in a convent school in Ambala. It was an all girls school and our biology teacher were like, क्या खराब है? Hormones ही तो है ना, इसमें कुछ खराब नहीं होता. So that was the first time I kind of understood that it may not be true. मतलब जो मम्मा बोल रही थी गलत भी हो सकती है ये मम्मी. So it's also like a learning curve for us.
Right.
I just want to first say it's so nice to see you having so much empathy for your parents. It's
Yeah.
really lovely and very refreshing to hear.
When you grow up, you realize कि भाई बहुत मुश्किल काम है बड़े होना तो.
Absolutely.
Wow. That was unintentionally very deep.
मुझे मतलब जो याद है ना, it's so obviously, I was two boys in our home, me and my younger brother, and my mom obviously never had, she didn't have a reason, I would imagine, to talk to us about periods, etc. I do remember that, which later I found out was menopause. I do remember that there was a time where she was very uncomfortable for long periods. We would see her in pain. I would understand that she's going through something, and yet she never said to me, and she was just like, you don't understand कि हमारी body में changes आते हैं. I was like, I don't understand. Because nobody has told me. I feel like we also don't have empathy for the experiences of our parents sometimes.
Yeah,
we don't have
very
empathy
true.
for the experiences of other people in our families who have gone through, sometimes sisters, sometimes again, especially women who've gone through so much with their bodies.
In fact, so many women don't have that conversation with their husbands. उनसे भी छुपाते फिरते हैं कि मेरे periods हैं, that kind of thing. वो the sanitary pads भी आते हैं तो काले एक separate chapter है उसके लिए.
Absolutely.
एक bag जो इस्तेमाल की जाती है.
यहाँ
पर
पहले
ये
अखबार में wrap करेंगे.
हाँ, अखबार उसके ऊपर black मतलब जैसे कि कोई RDX हो.
What's your experience of buying pads? Have you also faced it? Is it still going on?
I'm Gen Z, I Instamart.
That's that makes it much
I don't go to
easier.
shops, I just
That
order
makes it
online.
much easier.
I think झिझक तो I think shopkeepers को भी होती है sometimes, the eye contact suddenly changes. I think वो एक शर्म की ही बात है, आज भी वो शर्म की बात है. So it's just कि आप we are keeping each other's respect in a way. वो जो I'll say it that way, you know, rather than feel कि ये कुछ गंदा है इसलिए कर रहे हैं. It's just कि कोई बात नहीं, आपने मांग लिया, हम दे रहे हैं, but उसमें वो एक अलग झिझक होती है.
I feel like you're absolutely right. I feel like a lot of them actually may do it because they feel like you might be embarrassed
Correct.
versus
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
You were one of the first ambassadors, if I'm not wrong, on television for a
Yeah.
Whisper ad. Did that inspire you at that point of time to have this conversation with more people around you? आपको nervousness नहीं हुई थी कि ये अगर advertising ऐसी होती नहीं है? Because I mean, from whatever I've understood, this was one of the first times
Yes.
this such an advertisement had happened.
No, I was very glad that I was the face because I mean, if you have a voice in society, then you should use it for the right purpose, I feel.
Absolutely.
And so there was no doubt in my mind when they approached me that should I do this or should I not. That never occurred to me. Other people definitely said, अरे आपको नहीं करना चाहिए था because there are so many traditional people who don't view ये कि ये बताने वाली कौन सी बात है, you know. When I did the Whisper ad back then, it was a complete game changer because it changed the narrative of the discussion about periods in mainstream media because it's the first time that they called it periods.
Wow.
So they've always been way ahead of the time, and now we can see they've kept updating their ads as we go over the years. And now with this, you know, latest ad where the girls are getting their periods, we have seen that girls are getting their periods at a much younger age, and so they've kind of, the ad is now in tune with the requirement that our society is going through, and yet it's one step ahead. Because this is the conversation that we needed to have yesterday for
Absolutely.
today's girls. And Whisper has already done it with their ad campaign. I always look at ads as something that, yes, you want to sell your product, you want to do that kind of advertising and badha chadha ke. Nahi, this is something that has changed the narrative about periods in many households. An experience that I personally carry with me because I was part of that first major ad campaign related to Whisper. Really hats off to Whisper for this.
I mean, I'm so glad. Thank you for normalizing this conversation in our country, I would say. There's again a report that says without period awareness, 26 million girls could be at the risk of dropping out of school. To address this, of course, Whisper has made this wonderful film. It's trying to bridge the gap. I actually have a little bit of the understanding कि missing chapter है क्या, तो मैं आपको pass on करना चाहता हूँ. Please have a read. आप film देखेंगे आपको थोड़ा और context मिलेगा. But it's been explained in a very lovely way over here.
खोलना श्रद्धा, टिफिन खाया था ना, टमाटो सॉस लग गया होगा. हाँ, खून ही है. तू इतना झूठ बोलती है ना, गॉड ने तुझे पनिश किया होगा. तू भी तो झूठ बोलती है, तुझे क्यों नहीं हुआ? पीटी क्लास में तू इतना फास्ट झूठा झूठी थी ना, तो पर वो तो सब लोग करते हैं. तू कह रही थी ना, कल रात तूने मच्छी खाई थी, उसका कांटा अटक गया होगा. दर्द कांटा गले में अटकता है, सुसु में नहीं. मुझे लगता है तुझे कोई बीमारी हो गई है. जब तक तू ठीक ना है ना, तब तक तो स्कूल मत आ. अभी तक बंद नहीं हो रहा है. कभी बंद नहीं होगा तो तू कभी स्कूल नहीं आएगी. मुझे लगता है ये मरने वाली है.
क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे? क्लास में क्यों नहीं हो तुम लोग? क्या हुआ श्रद्धा?
थोड़ा जल्दी नहीं है? जब पीरियड्स पहले आ सकते हैं तो हमें तैयार भी तो पहले होना पड़ेगा.
तो आज हमने क्या सीखा?
पीरियड्स का मतलब हेल्दी है आप. पीरियड्स का मतलब हेल्दी है आप.
मतलब
कि मैं रहे हो आप पीरियड्स का मतलब हेल्दी है आप पीरियड्स का मतलब हेल्दी है आप डक्कड़ गाड़ी 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 गाड़ो डक्कड़ गाड़ी 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 गाड़ो डक्कड़ गाड़ी गाड़ी गाड़ी.
To date, Whispers Keep Girls in School program has taught over 100 million schoolgirls about periods and period products. With every pack of Whisper Ultra you buy, you too can help us keep girls in school.
Yeah, I wish that conversation had happened when I was 10.
So cute. Those
Really?
catchy.
Yeah, very catchy. And you know, something very important to relate period with women's health.
Correct.
Yeah.
How much periods actually protect us from so many things. We understand that later in the second missing chapter, which is menopause.
This film has normalized through song and music periods being healthy. Because I wish this is the way हमको सिखाया होता.
Because they've used music, it's such a nice way of integrating things. Because गाने सभी सुनते हैं, and using something as catchy as that is such an effective way of getting the message across with simple lyrics. सबको समझ में आएंगी, सबको याद रहेंगी. So you never have to think कि क्या होता है menstrual cycle में. It's uterus lining बनाता है, फिर uterus lining हटा देता है, and it's such an effective and simple way of communicating such a complex topic.
Yeah.
That this can be used by schools. It can be, you know, it can be used everywhere for not just educating young people, 7-8 साल के बच्चे, so they're prepared for what's going to come, but also using that same message for also educating the older people, because
Absolutely.
it's so simple and it's so to the point कि मुद्दे की बात पता चल गई हैं and याद रहेंगी with the, it's almost like a mnemonic device, and it's honestly it's such a cute song. Periods का मतलब है.
Yeah.
So I think media is kind of the best way to like bring about change. I mean, usually लोग offense ले जाते हैं कि oh, how can you put this in public? It's such a hush-hush topic. But the way that the film has been made, it's so children friendly. I think it is meant for like 8-9-year-olds, and it's so easy to grasp. So I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
I love that they've actually used girls who are that young. But ma'am, as you mentioned, it's happening now much earlier, you know, at age 8. Tanya, I wonder, like, what is the reason for this happening at a much younger age for girls today? Kya ho raha hai? What is the medical explanation for something like this?
It's a mix of many things, what we call multifactorial issue. One of the most important things being कि अब हमारे पास stability बहुत है, हम खा रहे हैं सही से. You know, historically we didn't eat so much, so nutritional status is better, and as a consequence there's also a lot of overnutrition as well. So the more body weight you have, the more likely you are to get your period early. I think the last study that I remember was that 80% chance बढ़ जाता है to get your period before the age of 9 if you're 10 kilos overweight. So, you know, it's very like, we have the data to show that your nutritional status, your environment, the stability around you really matters. And हम इतने increasingly plastic world में जी रहे हैं. जैसे BPA हम बहुत सुनते हैं, डब्बों पे लिखे आता है BPA free, क्योंकि BPA एक बहुत well known chemical है जो interfere करता है आपके hormones के साथ. So we have enough data to show that, you know, things are changing, and that is changing how our bodies are developing. What we don't have enough of is to, you know, ensure things in place to make sure that this doesn't happen as quickly as it does. And the consequences of, you know, that body maturity that comes in, not just in terms of understanding the changes in your body, but understanding the way people around you are going to change in the way they behave with you.
Yeah, and also because you become childbearing.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
you know.
Getting your periods early doesn't mean you become fertile. So fertility establish होने में थोड़ा समय लग जाता है. But bodies change and you are so much at the
Yeah.
risk of abuse.
Absolutely.
It happens so often.
Absolutely.
And कैसे आप बच्चों को समझाएं कि, you know, you're 8, you're 9 and you're developing breasts, and
Yeah.
people are going to come and see you differently, and they might touch you differently, and you know,
Definitely.
बच्चा is not capable of understanding इतना gravity इतनी बातों की.
And it gets socially isolating also, as I think ma'am was
yeah.
saying.
It
When you
does.
don't have people your age to be able to talk about this. Ma'am, how did it affect you psychologically? If you remember, like, you know, when there was no information like this out
Yeah.
there.
I think you know, your way of looking at yourself changes. And for me at that time, because I could not have this conversation with any other girl my age, the perception that my body was growing, as she said, was a matter of something that I had to hide. You know, and I think that has carried forward with me.
Really?
You know, I've never been able to get over that feeling that my body has to be hidden.
Wow.
I'm very conservative about, you know, the way I look at my body or the way I dress, and it's something that one doesn't think of, but it is the root. Our childhood is a root for a lot of things that we carry on in our later lives. So if suppose I had a healthier conversation maybe with my other mates, then perhaps, you know, that kind of situation where I felt the need to, you know, kind of keep myself closed and, you know, protected. I protected myself, you know, from male gaze, bad touch, all these things, because you do experience this at a very early age.
No, thank you for being so honest with this, ma'am. I mean, I can't imagine how hard it would be for someone as, you know, to get it as young. Tanya, did you also face something similar, even though again you had a supportive environment around you? If you get it early, if you get periods early, is that something that, are there social ramifications of it that you see around?
Absolutely. I mean, as it is such an isolating experience. मेरी फ्रेंड ने जब मुझे बोला ना क्लासमेट ने कि चेक कर स्टेन तो नहीं है, and I was just like मेरी दुनिया खुल गई है, वाओ मैं एक इंसान से इस बारे में बात कर सकती हूँ outside of my home. And the way your body changes, the way your brain changes, you're experiencing, you know, you're experiencing all the changes that you're expecting to experience when you're 12, 13, 14. अब आपको 7-8 साल की उम्र पे वो सब समझना पड़ता है. And when you hit puberty, the first sign of puberty is actually breast growth. इसको हम थीलार्की बोलते हैं. थीलार्की पहले आती है, उसके 1-1.5 साल के बाद पीरियड आता है. So if you know you're getting your period at 8, that means your breast buds are developing at 6.
Wow.
How do you explain that conversation? How do you make peace with that conversation in your own body and, you know, just feel comfortable, not feel shame essentially. And मेरे लिए तो बहुत वैसा था कि मैं कुछ भी कहीं भी बोल आती थी. तो मुझे not only बात करने में लोग मुझसे हिचकिचाते थे, but मुझे देखने में भी, they used to look at me a certain way, you know, and it was very scary. I think the world was very scary for me when I was that age. इतनी सी normal सी चीज़ है, आप, you know, it's 3-4 tablespoons of blood, but there's so much weight that those tablespoons carry, and it's too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell me about your, I don't think you mentioned, what age did you get your period at?
I think I was 12 and a half.
Did other people at your age have the same experience? Were you able to share about this with your school, with people around you?
No, I mean, of course, not everybody has the same experience. I remember having a friend whose parents were very strict and she knew nothing about periods. So, like, I told her whatever my mom had told me, and I helped her, like, put on her first pad in school. So, I think even your friends are sometimes like your greatest teachers, and they can be your missing chapter sometimes.
You know, and again, that's something that I found is so encouraging over there, right? अगर
Yes.
आप वो आपको encourage कर सकते हैं, even if you don't have people around you who have that supportive ecosystems, if you can be the ecosystem for somebody else, that's just wonderful. But I wonder, Tanya, particularly to you, especially with the gender neutral approach, कैसे हम लोग ये बातचीत करें? How do we ensure that the missing chapter does not stay missing for so long?
By doing exactly this, by talking. And I think that changes, that takes away the power of shame. You disempower that shame, and हम सब अपना trauma तो नहीं is a heavy word, but हम सब अपने, you know, अपने past experiences that did affect us negatively in some ways, हम सब इतने आराम से discuss कर पा रहे हैं because we know this is a safe space. But कभी नाक बहने के टाइम पे ये नहीं सोचते हैं कि भाई सेफ स्पेस में जा रहे हैं कि नहीं बात कर सकते, मेरी नाक बह रही है. You know, it's a very normal bodily phenomena, and that it's so impactful when we just discuss things. So if we can say the word period out loud, हम chums और
Correct.
you know क्या मैं डाउन हो गई हूँ, ये सब बोलना बंद करके सीधे सीधे बोलते हैं भाई पीरियड चल रहा है, जुकाम होता है तो बोलते हैं जुकाम होता है.
Correct.
So yeah, just taking away the shame by talking.
I'm wondering if there's a right age to talk about periods.
I'm not a teacher or a parent, so I don't know. I think if you have a child, you would be better able to tell what feels like the right time for your child and you. I don't think I am qualified enough to make those decisions. But in my household, my brother is like 9 years younger than me. And मतलब हमारे मम्मा पापा because they have also like changed and obviously like I have like a broader mind about life and everything. तो हमारे घर में तो like जब से वो 4-5 साल का एक periods have been very normally flown into conversations कि वो पीठ में दर्द हो रहा है वो पूछो क्यों रहा है तो periods हो रहे हैं. So it was never like कि we sat him down or taught him like I'm sure mama would have. But it kind of just always was a part of the conversation. And I do believe that elder sisters raise the greenest flags. So I would like to take all credit. Yeah.
Ma'am, you are the mother to 2 sons.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, आपने अपने बेटों से ये बात की है? Were you able to have this conversation?
I did when they turned 12, I think.
Wow.
My elder one was 12 and my younger one was 10. तो मुझे I wanted to inculcate this sense of respect for the women in the house. तो मैंने उनको तब समझाया कि ऐसा ऐसा हर लेडी की ज़िंदगी में मोस्टली 99.99% women go through this और ये कुछ हार्मोनल चेंजेस होते हैं इस समय जिसकी वजह से they might or might not have mood swings. They might have a lot of tiredness, उनको stomach pain होता है और मैंने कहा ये आपको आपके जो क्लासमेट्स हैं तो उनमें भी शायद दिखेंगे. So I feel teachers में भी दिखेंगे. I said you should be more sensitive. जो आपकी दीदियाँ हैं जो आपके लिए काम करती हैं इन स्कूल तो उनसे भी थोड़ा सा आप हर बार मतलब महीने में आपको नहीं पता कब उनके पीरियड हैं तो आप हर बार उनसे रिस्पेक्ट से ही बात करेंगे.
Why did you choose 12 as the age to tell your boys?
Because my younger one was 10 at that time. Okay. Actually, I felt that 10 should be the age when I should have the conversation just because they would realize at their age that this was the age your mother got her periods. And it changed her life forever. So I just wanted them to know that, for you, life is going to be smooth for a longer period of time. But, it might not be that smooth for your classmates or your, friends who are girls or things like that. Also, I felt that they had the emotional maturity at that age to handle the information I was giving them. And they received it very well. Normally देखा गया है कि आप बहुत अच्छे तरीके से grasp कर सकते हो as young boys. We give them very little credit.
I just loved that line that to include all genders. आपने भी you can give boys also benefit of doubt. वो भी सीख जाएंगे अगर आप सिखाने की कोशिश करोगे. True gender equality can truly happen only when you have all genders on the table learning together versus having like these in silos. अच्छा period हो रहे हैं तो फिर angry woman stereotype etc. Except the fact that we don't talk about how painful it gets. And when it gets painful, obviously you're going to have hormonal reactions to
Correct.
that. And it's so important for even men, I would say, particularly men to understand this. Of course, the person that you're with, whether it is your mother, whether it is your partner, whether it is a sister, anybody else or your friends, they may be going through this. And at that point of time, if you are not having that little bit of empathy, recognizing that in your life, you will never have to experience this pain.
Yes, absolutely.
How do we have period education from an early age? Missing chapter की हम इतनी बात कर रहे हैं. How do we close that gap? How do we bridge that gap in school?
I believe in the same thing that Apurva said, that it doesn't have to be one moment कि अब तुम बड़े हो गए हो, अब तुम्हें conversation मिलेगा, because that adds so much weight to it. अगर आप generally जैसे हम 1, 2, 3 में हम बेसिक अरिथमेटिक सीखते हैं, 6 में हम थोड़ी सी अलजेब्रा सीखते हैं, थोड़े और बड़े होकर कैलकुलस सीखते हैं. तो इसी तरह से अगर हम ग्रेजुएटिंग डिपेंडिंग ऑन हाउ योर फीलिंग द मैच्योरिटी इज चेंजिंग, आप शुरू में बता दो बच्चा स्कूल में जाता है, दैट कैन टेक अवे द हैवीनेस ऑफ दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन. बॉडी साइंस सिखा दो यार, मतलब क्योंकि उसमें सिर्फ पीरियड्स और सेक्सुअलिटी नहीं आती है ना, उसमें ये भी आता है कि नाखून ऐसे क्यों बड़े होते हैं, कुछ किसी के बाल कर्ली क्यों होते हैं, एंड दैट कैन रियली ease the experience of growing up, because bullying, harassment वगैरह भी उसमें काफ़ी कट हो सकता है. So that is a simple strategy of without adding too much to the syllabus कि अब बच्चों का इस पे भी टेस्ट होएगा.
Yeah, that's very thoughtful. I love the idea of body science. I'm wondering now, when you're speaking about this, is there like for young girls in particular, and of course young menstruators in particular, is there a healthy period checklist that you would like to give as a doctor?
So the first thing is कि आपके पीरियड शुरू होने के 1-2 साल में पीरियड में रेगुलरिटी नहीं आती है. So don't worry about regularity for the first 2 years I would say. उसके अलावा एक average period lasts anywhere between 21 to 35 days. Not period, average cycle lasts between 21 to 35 days. So अगर आपको 21 दिन के गैप पे up to 35 दिन के गैप पे पीरियड आ रहा है, then it's okay. इससे ऊपर कभी कभी होना is normal, but if it's consistently happening, time to see your doctor. Aside from this, some basic period pain people do experience. Some people experience a lot of pain. If that is happening, again, see your doctor. थोड़े बहुत पेन के साथ कुछ बेसिक एक्टिविटीज़ हैं, कुछ बेसिक पेन किलर्स हैं जो आपको हेल्प कर सकती हैं. एंड एक एवरेज पीरियड में बहुत ज़्यादा खून नहीं जाना चाहिए. अगर इतना ज़्यादा खून जा रहा है कि आपको बड़े बड़े क्लॉट्स आ रहे हैं, छोटे छोटे क्लॉट्स आते हैं क्योंकि सिर्फ ब्लड नहीं, लाइनिंग भी निकल रही है. बट अगर बड़े बड़े कंसिस्टेंटली क्लॉट्स आ रहे हैं, कमज़ोरी महसूस हो रही है पीरियड की वजह से, तो इन सब के साइंस हैं कि आपका पीरियड ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेट हो गया है. लास्ट थिंग, 2 day to 7 day की ब्लीडिंग होती है मोस्ट लोगों को. अगर आपको एक दिन का भी पीरियड सही से नहीं आ रहा है या 10-10 दिन पीरियड आ रहा है, दैट इज़ नॉट अ वेरी हेल्दी साइन. सो इफ़ यू फुलफिलिंग दीज 3-4 मेन क्राइटेरियाज, देन इट्स प्रीटी चिल. एंड पीरियड से हमें इतना डरने की ज़रूरत इसलिए भी नहीं है बिकॉज वी हैव द सुपर पावर ऑफ सीइंग जिसे हम वाइटल्स बोलते हैं ना, कि पल्स नाप ली, ब्लड प्रेशर नाप लिया, ब्रीदिंग रेट नाप ली. Period can also be a vital sign of your health.
Thank you. That's I mean,
Very
it's
insightful.
so well eloquently spoken. What's the one thing you would suggest to bridge this gap in menstrual education?
No, I think two-pronged approach, as we've all discussed, one in the home and one at school. Both places need to be more open about discussing these things. And, it's something that you can develop only, not in an imposed way, कि आज ये conversation करना है, not like that. I think it has to do with the general atmosphere about being open about everything that is happening in your children's lives.
So well said, ma'am. Yeah, absolutely.
I think one simple thing we can do is to also create sensitization programs for teachers. बिकॉज उनको हम मटेरियल पकड़ा देते हैं, बोल जा बात करो. वो भी तो कितना मतलब अपने बैकग्राउंड से आ रहे हैं, उनके भी तो अपने प्रेजुडिसेस हैं, अपनी इनसिक्योरिटीज़ हैं. उनको ज़िंदगी भर बताया गया है नहीं करो, तो उनकी इतनी अनलर्निंग हम भूल जाते हैं. सो आई थिंक वी कैन ऑल्सो, aside from including children in the conversation, we should also include adults and like give them material like this. उनको पूरा फोलिकुलर साइकिल, फोलिकुलर फेज, लुटियल फेज नहीं समझाने की ज़रूरत है. उनको पीरियड का मतलब हेल्दी हैं आप, एंड यूट्रस लाइनिंग बनाता है, लाइनिंग को हटा देता है, इतना सिंपल समझा दें. तो आई थिंक that might be one of the most effective ways, I think, personally.
Absolutely. ये film should very much go to teachers as much as it goes to all the students. You're so right. Apurva?
See, I think, okay, my answer is a little different. I think a lot of children also don't have a safe space at home. Like, I know there are parents that are really judgmental and children just don't find comfort in talking to them. So my recommendation to anybody who's watching this video is, internet is the best teacher, but you should know your resources. Read up credible resources. If something is happening in your body, please be curious. If you can't ask questions in front of your teachers or in front of your parents, ask them online, ask them with a senior that you trust, a sister, a friend, anybody. Friend to वैसे उन्हें भी नहीं पता होगा, but like you can try. And you can read up, because at the end of the day, it is your body.
And you're right, maybe it'll take some time to change, but we must push. We must push for and ask for more changes in schools, in our education system, at our homes, create non-judgmental spaces everywhere possible. I mean, I'm feeling actually very confident about this conversation. If we can have it here, I'm sure that, watching this, somebody might be feeling like, maybe I can also have it at my home. I can have it with my friends, But all of you, thank you for creating such a beautiful space where I felt, I didn't feel uncomfortable asking these questions or awkward asking these questions, given that that's what's been conditioned into everybody growing up.
No, I'm feeling very happy that one can use this conversation to take the conversation about the missing chapter ahead.
I came in here expecting to talk about science, and it was strange to be this vulnerable and talk about like my own experiences. And I've been working with Whisper for I think 2-3 years on this. We've done work on the missing chapter and this campaign as well. And हर बार मैं this is my bread and butter, like talking about periods. But even then, I am going home thinking, wow, that was a very impactful conversation.
It's been a privilege, honestly, to be with all of you today.
Thanks so
Thanks
much,
for
man. Thank you so
having
much
me.
for having me.
Thank
Us.
you.
Us, yeah.
We're sisters now.
I think when everyone agrees to create non-judgmental spaces, आप बहुत ही अच्छे wholesome conversations होते हैं. And if you're open to listening, you will also learn just so much more than you expected. I'd again really like to thank Whisper for this super meaningful conversation. With the Keep Girls in School initiative, they have taught over 100 million school girls about periods. ऐसी ही conversations awareness लाती हैं, एक change लाती हैं, and hopefully help spark more conversations too. For many more such conversations, please like, share and subscribe to We Are Yuva on all platforms.